just wish that everyone would not have to go through the 14 years that I went through to get to where I am.
I was able to put myself back together again because there was some essence inside of me that said, love exists, it's there, you just have to get it back.
He was the most wanted child that has ever been born. We had him at Baptist East in Memphis, and there were 28 people there waiting for him to be born.
My mom lost her first kid, and then by the time it came to be me, they were very grateful and they were very ready. I was really spoiled. I was an only child that came later.
He was always the writer, and you would say to him at 5, what are you going to be? A writer. Of course we didn't think so. By the 3rd grade, he made not just good grades, but he made all A's, and he won every one of the awards.
I learned as a queer kid to show a different face to the outside world, and I think that I got really good at that.
The Conleys lived in a small Arkansas town, attending a fundamentalist Baptist church where Garrett's father eventually became pastor. At age 18, Garrett's parents found out he was gay. They sent him to Love in Action, a gay conversion therapy ministry in Memphis.
I'd barely researched the place. My parents had barely researched the place. We'd filled out an application.
The first couple of days, you're kind of optimistic because you think, because you have been told by this, the largest Southern Baptist church in the South, that they have this 84% cure rate, and I'm just silly enough to believe it.
I was there for a thing called The Source, which was a 2-week trial program. In the materials that we read for Love in Action's handbook, there was always something about you being inferior in the eyes of God, and then there'd be a Bible verse right after it.
Garrard wasn't supposed to be telling me all this stuff. The more the parent knew, the more the parent might start thinking, this is crazy stuff.
Their rhetoric is, you're hiding something, and you've always been hiding something, and this hidden nature in you is what's evil. There was this whole idea that you couldn't be trusted by yourself because you were an addict. And anytime you'd ever looked at pornography or had a fantasy or kissed another boy, whatever, that was all just further proof that you were an addict.
But my mind was not registering anything other than what are they doing to my child. Within the first week, they're telling me he needs to stay the 3 months because he's not trying hard enough. He's not trying to memorize the study. I don't think he's doing enough homework. He doesn't hate his father enough.
She could see that I was wasting away, and it was almost like she was waiting for me to give her the excuse to just drive us home. And when I said I wanted to kill myself, it was like, that's it.
And I said, we're going home. And he said, we're going home? Before it's over? And I said, yeah. And he said, are you going to call Dad? And I'm like, no. I said, he may not like it that we come home. And I said, but it is not working, and he wouldn't want you to be here with what they're doing to you, because they had had a chair where he was supposed to hate his daddy and beat up his dad, and the reason why they got mad at him was because he kept saying, I don't hate my dad. I love my dad, And so all of these things just were not adding up. And when we showed up at home, it was sort of like, why are y'all here? And Herschel said, did it work? And we both just looked at him and we said, no. And that was our answer. That was all he ever asked. And we haven't looked back.
In the years after conversion therapy, on and off, there were some suicidal thoughts. They were never as bad as when I was involved in conversion therapy. In the moment when I really was considering it, I would run like the blade of a knife across my neck and really sort of play with the idea.
And I really did cry, and I prayed the wrong prayer for 2 years. I prayed, oh God, change him. And one day I thought to myself, God answers no on a lot of our prayers. And I didn't used to always know that. I just thought, well, he's just not answering my prayer. Well, yes, he was, but he was answering, no, you're praying the wrong prayer.
And then my mom and I started having conversations about it where she would apologize every single time I would talk to her. And I would be like, it's really okay, Mom. Like, you know, that was a while ago. Like, we're learning. Everyone learns. You were brainwashed by a lot of people.
Garrard wrote a memoir about his horrible experience in gay conversion therapy, Boy Erased. Now it's a Hollywood movie starring Joel Edgerton, Lucas Hedges, Russell Crowe, and Nicole Kidman.
I feel good about the movie. To be able to say Nicole Kidman is going to play me in a movie, I can see people, you know, like on the elevator not believe me. And I'm like, well, I've got pictures. So it's like when I tell people, nobody even believes me. And I wouldn't believe me either. So that's like a whirlwind. If we don't accomplish another thing, that's what I hope this movie will stop, is totally 100% no more conversion therapy.
People are just now starting to wake up to the fact that there are thousands of kids that are in this right now. It's not a really small thing. It's actually pretty big. We've got a long battle ahead of us.
Research shows more than 20,000 LGBT young people will be forced into conversion therapy. Another 57,000 will have to endure the treatment from a religious or spiritual advisor.
I don't expect everyone to agree with me, and I don't expect everyone to accept Garrard's story exactly the way I did, but I don't expect everybody to just turn on people. That's not God, and that's not Jesus.
You can learn more about the Conley story at Mattachine Society, Washington, D.C.org.